I'ma make the sky explode, rolling smoke out my nose, leaning on the console. I ain't seen no asphalt in about 10 miles.
What's up, dude?
What's up, buddy?
It's Friday, bro.
It is Friday, man.
I'm liking the setup.
It's coming together.
You can't look at this big monitor though. You guys can't see it. I can see it because it's like slightly delayed from my real mouth
Yeah, I don't want to see up.
to the recording.
Yeah.
It'll fuck you up.
It will. It
Hey,
will.
shout out to our boy Chris. You guys can't see it yet, but Chris got me a super cool Derek Jeter, Will Grimes jersey.
Dude, it's super cool. I came in
great.
today and saw it and was like, God damn.
Will, are you Derek Jeter? Kinda. There's a smart ass joke behind that. We'll wait
That's
till it's
awesome.
up and we'll
Yeah.
tell the story. But thanks, Chris. We love you, buddy. But good
Awesome.
episode today, man. We're gonna talk about fuck the 5 a.m. routine.
The
Is that how you say
overrated
it?
5 a.m. club,
The
man.
overrated 5 a.m. club.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I talk about this a lot. Tosh had a good podcast where he talks about lead, don't chase.
Yep.
And I like it because as a reminder, right? Like it'll go into like where does that apply? It'll go into friendships.
Okay.
It'll go into just relationships in general. Like do you
Mhm.
feel like you're chasing the approval of someone or whatever it may be versus like just leading better? And
Mm-hmm.
it's a really open-ended, like he had a certain thing he was speaking on when he was giving it. But for me, as I was listening, it just kind of got a lot more open-minded to it. And like where just the concept lead, don't chase
Sure.
applies.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is one of them because what you're going to talk about today is what I'm guessing is like, you got to figure out what works for you,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
right? Like lead your life. Don't just chase the next fucking thing of like, well, they're 5 a.m., so I'm 5 a.m. And like, we talked about this years ago, or maybe I was talking about it in private in coaching where I was, I brought up Jocko
Mhm.
and his 4:30, so people were doing it and they're inconsistent or whatever. And I'm like, hey, man, do you think that guy gives a fuck if you wake up at 4:30 or not? Like, is that the point you think he's proving by posting his watch every day? That he wakes up at, like, that's what you see. Like, you think he's proven the point that I'm up at 4:30, so should you? Maybe. Could be part of it. I think he's showing you consistency. I think he's showing you have a plan and be disciplined. I think it's the discipline aspect he's showing you. I don't think he gives a fuck if you're up at 4:30. I think he's showing you the discipline and consistency of what he's doing. And then it's like, cool. So if that makes you a 7 a.m. person or something, but maybe you stay up a little bit later, like whatever it may be, right? Like it's like just you've got to figure out how to lead your life and do what works for you. And then of course you have to get out of the whole mind's mind thing, get out of the whole like rationalization of like, dude, that's just not me. I'm a 10 a.m. guy. It's like, all right, now we're getting a little weird.
Yeah.
You are gonna have to break some comfort and some
Yeah.
different things. But
Yeah.
I'm guessing that like when you had this topic for today, some of this applies, right?
Oh, absolutely, dude. Yeah, and this is something that, man, I think you're the first one that kind of gave me the exposure to it of just like, hey, is that working for you? Right? Like you're real
Yeah.
good at asking questions and not just jumping on board or something.
You
just
were
to
like
jump on
waking
board.
up super early for your gym workouts, and I was
Well-
super insecure, so I like talked you about doing it, right?
Well, and I always did from like just personal training, so I kind of like had to.
4:30.
Right? Yeah, yeah.
Like, weren't you at the gym
And
at
then,
4:30 or some
like
crazy
5.
shit?
Yeah, 5:30.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, you typically had clients starting at like 5:30.
So you're up at what, 4?
Yeah.
Wow.
But so I started that and had that for like 10 years, and then when we got into business together, it was like, man, I just thought I had to keep doing that. But then I would too see the Jockos and the 5 a.m. club and think like, oh, I'm a piece of shit if I don't wake up at 5, even 6, even 6:30, like I would feel really guilty. But at the same time was not performing well, not doing good in the morning, not performing well in the morning. I
Yep.
naturally do get really creative and productive from like 9:30 to 11:30 or midnight, like naturally. But I was going against all of my natural instincts
Yeah.
to just be this thing that I thought I had to be for
And
whatever
dude,
reason.
a lot of your creative people fall into that later at night stuff
Mhm.
too. I know Joe Rogan talks about, like when he would really get creative into writing, sit down and write comedy, sit down and write material. It was that night when his kids were in bed.
Yeah.
So, and then like when they were doing the Comedy Store and stuff, like they're up till midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., like doing the shows, getting the reps in. And,
Mhm.
you know, so I can't remember what time he is, but Joe Rogan's not a 5 a.m. guy.
No.
Or maybe he'll do it
Probably
sometimes.
going to bed at 5 a.m. sometimes.
Who knows?
bro.
But like the point is like you just have to like, you know, find that routine and like, well, hey, but if you're up early, you're gonna get more done. Yes, comma. Early is subjective.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Because if I just naturally like working until midnight, well, 7 a.m. is early.
Mhm.
If you're a 5 a.m. guy, 4 a.m. guy, 4:30 a.m. guy, there's not too many people I know that are 4 a.m. to midnight.
Mhm.
Some of you will tell me that. I just don't believe you,
Mhm.
right? Like, not to be disrespectful. I've been around a lot of dudes at high levels and I see capacity for what it is. There's not a lot of humans on this fucking planet that can tell me they go from 4 a.m. to midnight consistently and they're productive every fucking day.
Yeah, I agree.
Not true.
Yeah.
You just, it becomes a capacity issue with just lack of fucking sleep, man.
Mhm.
Like, you're not doing 4 hour sleep for a long period of time, long enough to build a brand or a business. You're just not. Like,
Yeah.
have I done it? Yep. Have I done it a lot where it's needed? Yep. And it's just, but again, it's not something that's sustainable. It's
Mhm.
something that like you can fucking pull out of your back pocket and fucking do when you got to cram and you got shit going on for the next 48 hours and it has to get done. Got it.
Mhm.
But it's not a consistent plan. And I'm just gonna be honest with you. If you have to go 4 a.m. to fucking midnight, are you productive? Because
Yeah.
like, dude, you should be able to get a lot done in 8 hours a day.
Shit.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's like what? Like, even if you could, like, why?
Mhm.
What the fuck are you doing? Like, dude, go beat off or something, man. Go get a fucking hobby, would you?
Yeah,
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So when it comes to like be up early, I agree. I just think it's subjective to, well, what's early for you? Because if you're gonna go to bed at midnight instead of 9, that's a 3-hour difference.
Yeah. Huge.
Right?
It-
So that means 7 a.m. to a midnight guy
Yeah.
is the same as a 4 a.m. to a fucking
Mhm.
9 o'clock guy.
It's man, I do think it's important depending on what phase of life you're in, right? If you're like 19, 20 and man, you're just starting your first little like your own gig, you're launching
Mhm.
something new, you're young, you haven't done that, like sure, I'm a fan of like trying things,
Yeah.
but then seeing how it serves you, right? Some people do genuinely function super well. They're naturally like eyes just kind of open at 4:30 and 5 and they're just kind of
Mhm.
laying in bed and maybe forcing themselves to stay in bed.
Yeah.
When it's like, hey, maybe that is you and you can get up and be super productive, but then yeah, you're probably also naturally really winding down and not wanting to do anything after 9, 10 o'clock.
The discipline side of things is, let's say you're that person that like just is not gonna wake up at 4 a.m.
Mhm.
Right? You're 7 o'clock person, 7:30 person, but like you could get a lot of stuff done in the evening and et cetera, et cetera. Okay. Do you have kids? If you don't have kids, you have friends and football's on and baseball's on and after 4 o'clock, people are going out for drinks or having fun. Like, are you able to discipline yourself during like the entertainment hours to still stay focused? Because
Great
a lot
point.
of times, especially like in real estate, right? Like once 4 o'clock hits, you've got showings or you've got a happy hour to go to, or you've got some thing, or your friends are going out for drinks. And it's like, you're doing those things. Some of it you have to. If you got showings and stuff, that's in the business stuff.
Yep.
Got it. But because you naturally stay up later and you're not being productive with your later time and you're waking up at 7:30, like you just don't leave yourself a lot of time for on the business progress, right? So
Yeah.
this is where everybody's going to have their shit, man. Like for me, I'm not a morning person.
Mhm.
But I got kids, man. So come 6 o'clock or something, like I want to hang out with my kids.
Yeah.
I've got certain responsibilities of, hey, am I picking up kiddo from track today? Am I taking cash or whatever he's doing? Like, like it's not just that I want to hang out with my kids. I also have to contribute to the house. So if I don't start working and shit till 10:30, and then like you barely get shit done, or then you got some, and it's like, it doesn't work. So like for me, dude, not really a morning person, but I'll morning it up because you can build like it. Let me just give you guys a trick. Give yourself a fucking bedtime. Okay.
Yeah.
Go to bed at 9 o'clock. It's not the funnest. I got it. Just do it. And I promise you, after a week or two, you're just going to naturally wake up earlier because you got sleep. And it's weird at first because it's dark when you're waking up, but it's like you're gonna eventually be able to build that discipline. And I like to get my workouts in. My favorite time to work out is probably 3:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got a bit of food in you,
Yep.
right? You're carved up, fucking ready to go. It's probably the best pump. Naturally,
Gym's not too crazy yet.
it's not too crazy. Naturally, like your testosterone thing is at its highest, like mid to late day. So
Yeah.
like you've got that benefit. But dude, you and I are trying to work out at 3:00 in the afternoon
Not gonna happen.
ever.
Nope. Not
Maybe-
gonna happen.
Maybe once a week, once every other week. Maybe it would like oddly up, but it's not something that you can be consistent off of. So, I don't like food in the morning. So now I'm working out fasted.
Mhm.
So you're missing a little bit of that pump from like having carbs or whatnot. And
That's why I gotta eat pizza like the night before.
yeah, but
Yeah.
still, carbs actively in you before a workout
Yeah.
and carbs from it's not, I get it. Hey, your glycogen levels are full. Shut the fuck up, dude. I know. Okay, I got it. It's different when you're like, you ever like slam a handful of fucking gummy bears and shit before
Oh,
you
fuck yeah.
okay, or like
Yeah.
a Rice Krispie treat and
Yep.
fucking dude, it's ripper, right?
Mm-hmm.
But my point is the reward of consistently being able to go to the gym and have my morning for that time that it needs to be, not because it's in the morning, because I get this time for myself. The reward of having those things is worth having to do it in the morning.
Dude, yes.
So I'd rather have it
Yep.
than maybe have it once or twice a week because I'm trying to put my time and certain things in a certain spot where it just doesn't belong. You might be able to do that at 8, 9 o'clock, 6, 8 o'clock. Maybe you don't have kids or a spouse, or you do, but it's chill, or your kids are older and they're out hanging out with their friends, so you do. You might be able to do that in your evening. No problem. This is what I mean about lead, don't chase, and find something that's consistent. But you just have to be honest with yourself and like, don't bullshit the whole thing to try to make everything leisurely at your convenience and within your, like, you got to really go like, hey man, is this sustainable? And like, maybe it's not my favorite, but that's just where it has to go.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. But even then, dude, I even then I'm not a 4 a.m. guy to do that. Right.
Yeah.
Like you can be a 5:30 guy and still get that done.
Dude, I'm glad you brought that up because I used to be so focused on like what's optimal, right?
Mhm.
When I was younger, or I would at least like try to be. That's what I would like obsess over. Now it's more, hey, what is going to be the most sustainable,
Yeah.
where I can be the most consistent with it, And because maybe like for my schedule, it is most optimal if I'm like at the gym at 6 a.m., right?
Yep.
But it's not the most sustainable because I inevitably just end up doing shit till like 11:30 at night. And then I'm all like, okay, you got to get up at 5. And then the alarm
Yeah.
goes off. And then I get up and I'm like, fuck my life right now.
Yeah.
I am not and then I hit snooze for an hour and a half, and then
Yeah.
and then that's interrupting everything.
You
And I'm
can't
like,
rest faster.
and then I get up and I'm mad at myself, and then I'll let myself like not even go to the gym because now I'm behind on work or
Yeah.
whatever. Like,
And if you look at the totality of a month, it's like, hey, were those workouts more effective? But then you didn't work out, and like you see the inconsistencies. And I promise you,
right.
those look like you're practicing something, and then those inconsistencies will bleed into your work.
Yeah.
And
Well,
what you make acceptable just kind of becomes a standard.
100%.
Casual, like you're not even necessarily thinking it. You just won't even realize where you rationalize and
Yeah.
allow yourself to cut corners or not do certain things. And that's where it's like, yeah, man, when you're looking at the big picture of a week, a month, a year, you're like, man, if I just shift this an hour,
Yep.
I'm fucking good. And you're like,
Yep.
yeah, do it. And like, you also just have to consider people's lifestyles, and what they do, and no disrespect to anybody. But a lot of people online that are doing that, it's like, dude, your entire life is just a content creator or
Or the gym.
fitness instructor
Yep.
or the gym. So like
Yep.
the rest of your day from 9 a.m. on is like sharing stories about your food and shit, and then you're in bed. It's like, cool,
Yeah,
that
dude.
works for you.
Yeah.
But people like adopt it, and
Yep.
you're like, man, I don't know.
That's the whole thing of like like also throwing in the dash of like, hey, life, right? Because it's
Mhm.
like, yeah, when I was a trainer, like, yeah, your whole life is that, right? But like now, kiddos and shit, and you have like family obligations. And at the end of the day, it's like, hey, if you can get up get some family stuff done, and fuck, even get to the gym by 8, and you're done by 8:45 or 9. Meetings are starting at 9:30. Boom, and it's like, man, you got your 8 hours of sleep, you got your family time, got kiddos to school, whatever, and then
You're good.
You got your hour workout, like,
And then
there's
just
nothing
run
wrong
that
with
play.
That. Yeah,
Run that play for a fucking decade, and then just make sure, because like guys, like your morning routine super important, and I got it. From our view, right, of like coaching a couple hundred agents, coaching agents every week, business entrepreneurs. From our view, maybe you'll disagree, probably not. It's not like very rarely are we coaching to unfuck someone's morning routine.
yeah,
It's like, do whatever the fuck you want. Start your day when you start your day. You start yours at 7, you start yours at 9. Either way, like the majority of like problems that people have is they're just not putting energy into the right things in their business. It's not that like, man, Eli, you're doing everything so perfect, but your morning routine's just off, dog. It just fucking sucks. And like everything's perfect, dude. Your lanes of focus, what you're choosing to do in business, everything's amazing. If you could just wake up an hour earlier and then do everything you're already doing, that would magically make your business 10x. Not true.
no,
It's really not, dude. It's really not. It's like everyone, like I think Alex Hormozi talks about. I'm very similar to him, not in a lot of things, but the one thing where we are kind of similar is he's kind of like, dude, I get the fuck up and I get to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
The sooner I get to the gym, the better the day is gonna go.
Yep.
That's me, bro. Like I don't need to sit and fucking meditate and say nice things to myself and visualize my day. Like I need to get into my fucking day. I will actively visualize my day in my day. And I'm visualizing our business and everything that we're doing. All of that's better in motion for me.
Yep.
And then you could rationalize that, I guess. I don't know, but like,
You don't journal for an hour.
No,
and
man, I
sun
just-
your butthole.
dude,
and-
if I need to get things out, I'll journal. I'm not like a religious journal every day. I'm not trying to disrespect it. I know everyone's,
that's been, dude, I can't get on it.
I know everyone's, not everyone. A lot of people are like, dude, you don't fucking,
Do your gratitude journal.
ah, fuck,
I
man.
can't do it.
I'm powerful. I'm great. It's like,
Yeah.
stop it.
Mm,
I just want to like, how do I say this? It's not for me. Do I say that?
Yeah,
Okay.
say it. Yeah.
I have this thing in me, right? Not Eli's dick.
Jesus.
But I have this thing in me.
Sorry, everyone.
I know, sorry. Half of our audience was thinking that anyway. You know, all the bros, all the veterans, all the fucking Andy Frisella dudes that met us from his podcast. The second I said that, they were like,
Yep.
Eli's dick, right? They're driving their truck listening to this. Eli's dick, I bet. Sometimes. All right, back to it. I have this thing in me, right, where I'm like, hey, if you're really grateful for shit, why are you writing it down? Like, what, like for me, I think I'm just a more in motion guy. So like my meditation, I think is active. I think it's at the gym when I'm in motion and I'm embracing my day and I'm thinking through the meetings I'm going to have and it's in motion. And then like, if I'm grateful to my family, if I'm grateful for certain things, I need to be displaying it. So it's in motion. It's like I'm expressing gratitude versus the writing down of gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of folks that get into this habit of just writing shit out, it's like, what does that mean?
Yep.
Like Bart Simpson wrote shit every day on a chalkboard. He was still a fucking knucklehead in school.
Yep.
Did it work? I don't think so.
Man,
I'm being funny, but like, yeah, dude, but listen though, it comes down to that whole lead, don't chase. That's what I'm trying to be careful, like not make fun of something because, you know, I've got some friends, dude, where like they do that stuff, right? Colby, he does it. You know who I'm talking about?
yes. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
He does it.
Yep.
You know, and it's like, you could be that person where like, just tell me what to do and I'll do it. And for some reason it works, right? Like, so I don't want to make fun of it, man. I know I'm being lighthearted and kind of sarcastic, but it's like, if it goes back to lead, don't chase. Who gives a fuck what I think? Like, if that really does work for you, then it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. But determine, does that actually work for you?
That's where people, it's like,
Yeah.
stop adopting a
Like-
new routine. Stop adding this to your routine, adding that. That's that whole chase thing.
Yeah.
We're just chasing the next routine. We're chasing the next thing to add to the routine. It's like, wow, fuck. Like, are you analyzing any of it to actually say, where am I like pushing the needle on progress? How do I feel? Where's my clarity? Where's my progress? Dude, I've even felt it. I've never shared this with you. You probably have noticed this, even though I haven't shared it. When I work too hard, we don't necessarily grow. Almost like for example, like when you're pushing the gas on a race car. If you push the throttle too hard, you'll spin the wheels, right?
Yep. Don't get traction.
And even though like that's cool and spinning the wheels is like burning out and it fucking looks cool and it's loud and it's like something to talk about, it's not getting you down the track faster. This is Porsche, okay? Porsche is very unassuming. Porsche has 6-cylinder motors. Porsche, right? Like they cut weight and they do certain things, and Porsche wins fucking races. Like the track times Porsche has with 0 turbos, 0 superchargers, 6-cylinder motor, it's fucking retarded.
Really?
Buddy. It's so retarded. And they do have cars with turbos and shit, don't get me wrong, but like just how sophisticated that car is and getting down the track is amazing. But it's not necessarily as cool as watching fucking cars breaking loose and fucking getting it, right? Okay. It can maybe be cool to just fucking no days off, no quit, fuck your mother, right? Like, okay, it's something to write home about. It's romantic. It's fucking, yeah, bro, fucking get it. Entrepreneurs, we're athletes now, right? We have like Tom Brady brains and we're in the playing field of business now, and everyone's approaching their business like athletes. They're eating the right food and they're doing the cold plunge and I'm not against it, you know, but they're not exactly the same. In a lot of ways they are, but I'll also say that like forcing it in sports doesn't necessarily make you hit the ball harder. Forcing a tackle doesn't make you hit harder. Forcing running doesn't make you run faster. Like there is this threshold of too much gas, counterproductive.
Oh, dude.
And I can feel myself sometimes when I'm working too hard. And I'm like, it's not like an immediate adjustment I make, but I gotta stack less, because when I stack a little less, I just give more thought to things. Or I'll make a better decision on something, and all of a sudden money starts coming in. And you're like, there's an ebb and flow, dude, of like energy, but not so much that you're spinning your fucking wheels. And if you want to spin your wheels and do that, like that's fine. You're going to have this big, loud fucking car going down the track telling everybody about it. But dude, you're not even in the top 10 on fucking track times.
That's interesting.
Right? So it's like, yeah, dude, keep bragging, keep boasting, but like, let's just get back to like, what's your goal? If it's like, if you're a realtor out there, if you're in real estate like us, or if you're a business owner, like, what's your goal? To make money? Like, businesses should make money. So if that's not your goal, it needs to fucking be your goal.
Right.
What you choose to do with your money, buy a Lambo, give it to charity, I don't care. Right? Like, you're cool. It doesn't, whatever. Businesses need to provide a future for you. They need to provide and sustain your lifestyle or whatever. Put your kids through school. Whatever you want to do with your money. But if you're going to be a business owner, are you a nonprofit? By the way, nonprofits make money. Don't get me started. But like, you're not though.
Yeah.
We're talking entrepreneur. We're talking like, not that entrepreneurs don't create nonprofits. Like, let's not get weird. We're talking for profit, right? So then you should be focused on what converts and makes more money efficiently, consistently. And like, I've felt it before where I'm like, when I try too hard, I can feel the wheels slip and you go, you're just trying too hard this week. You need to fucking cut it back and be able to see things for what they are.
Yeah.
Especially like working with you guys. I don't need to have tunnel vision working in this fucking, no, I need to be looking back, making sure like the fucking boat's going the right way.
Dude,
and I promise you, like, you're not doing that. If you're fucking grinding your fucking balls like this, dude, you're like, whether you think so or not, you're gonna. And by the way, let me just explain tunnel vision to you. No, you don't fucking see it coming. Okay? Like, that's why it happens in the first place. It's gonna happen. It still happens to me. It happens to any high performer. My opinion. It's not so much trying to get it to where it never happens. It's once it happens, how quick can you make the pivot to get out of it?
Yep.
Some people stay in this for fucking years. Tunnel vision. They'll stay in tunnel vision for years.
Mm-hmm.
Some guys can catch it same day. So, right? Like for us, the pace of our business, I can catch it per week. I don't know if I could go quicker than that because sometimes you do need to be pressing the gas on something and getting it done. But like if you're going too, right? Like you know what I'm saying?
Yep. Oh, 100%, dude.
And I feel like you need to understand the ebb and flow of yourself. And sometimes what would bring that on for me is my environment and the framework of how I'm setting my day. Like if I go 4 a.m. and I'm this fucking, and I'm literally putting myself in the position to have tunnel vision.
Mm-hmm.
Just the nature of being this early thing.
Yep.
It almost like it just puts me in the setting of being too aggressive.
Dude, one of the one thing I've noticed with tunnel vision for myself is that you'll get tunnel vision on the wrong things. Like if you're not taking those
Great
time,
point.
if you're not taking
getting
the
tunnel
time,
vision does not mean you're making progress.
yeah, like
So you're right. Something wrong can catch you.
I'll sometimes get like prior to like being aware of that and like getting in the whole like zone of like, oh, gotta be on. And then you realize, man, I spent 2 weeks focusing on this thing that doesn't even matter right now. Like it matters, but not right now.
Yeah.
You know, and then it distracted from these things that do matter all the time.
Yep.
But fuck, you know, but you just got so wrapped up in that thing. I was telling you the other day, I'm like getting off of Adderall. And that's one of the main reasons for it is like just that feeling of like spinning your wheels of like you're awake and your heart's going and all this
and
stuff.
you're doing something, but it's like, am I doing
things? Things are happening, but you're like, man, I don't feel like I'm being more productive. I don't feel like I'm being more creative. I don't feel like I'm making the right decisions.
But I'm active.
Yeah.
George St. Pierre talked a lot. He was like one of the first fighters you would hear talk about flow state.
Yeah.
You know, just like when you're in the ring, you know, like you don't necessarily feel how hard you're punching, but you knock the guy out or you're just in that flow state. I know like in football, it seemed like the harder you'd hit a guy, the less you'd feel it. You know, the ones you feel more are the ones like you just didn't get quite the right angle, the right hit. They had more energy coming into you than you them, and like so you end up feeling the impact more versus like, man, I remember this one time I hit this guy, and it's nothing that great. I'm not like this Hall of Fame football player, but I was athletic enough to play at a good level. But I remember hitting this guy. And as I hit him, I was going to like wrap my arms around him to tackle him to the ground. But dude, I hit him so hard, my arms missed. Like as I was hitting him, probably with my fucking helmet, probably shouldn't be doing that. Or probably my shoulder, whatever. I just remember coming across the middle and hitting this dude. And as I hit him, by the time my arms came around to grab him, he was already gone. He had already just hit the ground.
Yep.
That's because like your shoulder and your head, like but you didn't feel it as much. And you're just like, whoa, like you didn't even realize you got a good crack on the guy. It's like, no, it was such a good crack. You put so much in it, like you just didn't feel it. Same thing with hitting a baseball, man. You know, like you'll feel a lot of them, but like you get really dug into a sweet spot on a bat. And it's timing of hitting the barrel of the bat in the right spot at the right point of your swing too. Right? Because like a ball, like a guy can throw a breaking ball or whatever and find its way to the sweet spot of the bat.
Yep.
But if you've already overextended through the zone and your elbows are straight because you're just way far out in front of a ball, even if you hit the sweet spot, like it's not, like it just doesn't do the same thing because your swing's over or you're too soon in your swing. But if you hit the sweet spot at the right time of your swing on the right spot of the bat, it'll fucking go. And you don't really feel it.
Yep.
You know, like you hit the wrong spot of the bat, you'll feel it in your fucking hands, especially with wood bats, man.
Yeah.
A wood bat will fucking
Just vibrate through and you're like,
dude, it'll make you question if you should even play baseball, bro.
That's funny.
It's just like bro. It's like, it's terrible. But you hit it in the right spot, but like, okay, but like what, but as you're coming through the baseball, you're not like this, dude. You're not
Yeah.
like, you're not
Death
fucking
grip.
just death gripping the bat, grinding your fucking teeth like, oh, motherfucker.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, you're not, dude. Like, you've got your fingers loose, right? Like, obviously your hands, become a little bit more tight around that bat as you come into point of impact.
Okay.
Just like a boxer, right? Like, your hands are loose in the gloves.
Mhm.
And as you're coming into point of impact, you tighten that hand.
Yep.
And it's like this dichotomy, right? Between like point of impact is when you should flex,
Mm-hmm.
and it's almost more for the protection
Mm-hmm.
/ hardening that spot for when you hit. But you're not just doing this, bro. Like,
Right.
oh, I'm gonna hit the fuck out of you. Like,
5 a.m. 5
dude,
a.m.
that's not
what
gonna
it
create
is.
a harder
Yeah.
hit. But that's what I
Right.
mean about like, are you just setting yourself up for that tone?
Right.
Because the second you wake up, you're like this, oh fucking, and it's like, okay. But now you're just doing that, like you're just burning fucking rubber all the way down the track, dude. And like, yeah, man, it was like, I was really loud and really screechy, and I heard all about it. And you ran a 13-second quarter mile. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah. Yeah.
Then you got these other cars that barely make any sound running a fucking 9-second quarter mile.
You got your 5 a.m. Instagram reel up.
You know?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
and it's like, but if it's your thing, do it. I'm not saying don't share, but
Totally.
share and highlight the consistency of why something works, not just.
Totally.
But I think more people chase. And dude, I've tried 4 a.m. I've
Yeah.
tried it.
Yeah.
Like you just have to like find that productive. Not everything's always fun, but that productive flow state where it's just best for you.
Look at your outcomes.
Have to.
Is it working for you? Is it working for you?
And dude, it's helped a lot. Like with you and I having coaching.
Mm-hmm.
Like with the stuff we're doing with Ryan Pineda.
Mm-hmm.
And just looking at different tasks, identifying who's got what,
How
tracking.
how he manages his day, even seeing how a
Yep.
super high performer that doesn't vlog about their entire day,
Mm-mm.
you see behind the scenes, and you're like, hey, that's like pretty moderate, like
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah. Most of your like significantly big hitters, like look at Andy Frisella.
But while on, man, they're fucking on, right? There's
Well-
no fucking off in that, like,
They're just really intentional and they're doing the right things.
yeah,
You know what I
yes,
mean?
Yeah,
Andy Frisella, he shares a ton of stories on so much posts. That's kind of like where I got my new tactic from
Mhm.
him. But you don't see him doing it, vlogging about his day either.
Mm-mm.
But it's like just being really effective. Like, hey, like there's that saying, right, of like the guys that are gonna chop or gonna like cut trees down.
Mhm.
I can't remember how the phrase goes, but the synopsis of the story is one guy spent half the time sharpening his fucking saw
Yeah, like
or
like
axe.
the whole 3/4 of the time sharpening his axe,
Yeah.
and then cut it down, and
And he wins. He
Yeah.
like beat right. The other guy couldn't figure it out. I kind of correlate that to like, hey, there is validity, man, in getting coaching.
Mhm.
I like really just getting your business to the whiteboard and just looking at your different lanes of focus, personal production, podcast, events, whatever it is, like really writing things out and just looking at it
Mhm.
and just, yeah, man, identifying where do I put my time? Where's my highest and best use of time? And
Yep.
that's like metaphorically how we sharpen our axe to making sure that like once I start swinging this axe, man, am I cutting the right fucking tree or not?
Totally.
Like
Totally.
and I don't know if enough folks actually do that versus just doing things is like, this will work, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's so hard in business. The answer is no. And this is where it gets a little bit different in sports. You hit a field and you got some average talent and you just work hard at everything in front of you. Yeah, man, you're probably going to be pretty decent. And like, yes, to an extent, that does work. But at some point, you're going to hit a level where you have to get way more specific on what you're doing. In business, you will not get like working hard doesn't necessarily get you as far as it does in sports in the beginning. In sports, dude, you can definitely get to varsity, whatever. You try to go into a professional, like, you got to be more specific. But you can get a lot further on hard work in sports than you can in business.
Oh yeah, in business, bro. Like when you're looking at
Some of
like,
the laziest dudes can be successful. They're just doing the one right thing.
that's exactly it. Like
Mhm.
it does not translate the same.
It doesn't. And that's the one thing where it's like there's a lot of similarities, a lot of carryover from competition or military or sports to business. There is. And I'm glad we're adopting that competitive, take care of your body, take care of your
Mhm.
mind mindset as entrepreneur. I think it's dope, but it's not completely translatable
No.
And people get stuck in like, oh, because you're doing the cold plunge and the sauna and the things, like I'm just doing these things, like I'm manifesting, bro. I'm manifesting. Like you're fucking insane is what
Yep.
you are, bro. Like I want to like smack you out of it
Yep.
because it's true. It's like, hey, just doing a lot of things isn't necessarily going to do anything for you. There's guys that have gone 12 months and not done a fucking deal.
Yeah.
Like when I mean nothing,
Yeah.
it could get you nowhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude.
Fucked up.
And that's why, like, you know, some of the most successful business people we know, like, man, they're not grinding all the time.
No,
They have
and
a life.
that's my last point, and I'll let you kind of cap
No,
this
you're
out.
good, yeah.
And because we've got it's 2:00 right now. You got to get going, right?
Yes, sir.
Something that I've talked about with Ryan Pineda before, like when we were all out golfing in Vegas together last time we were meeting with him. Our buddy Michael Griffin is big on this as well. We're getting ready to do some stuff with him as well, which is pretty cool. In business, anyway, secret. Can't tell. I really pay attention to like people that I look up to, people that I want to do business with, whatever it may be. It's like, who are they as a person? How are they living their life? And how they're living their life is that how they want their life to be. Because as you and I have grown, there's seasons for things. Yeah, man, we were working fucking hours, bro, and just doing every single deal, doing every fucking showing, whatever.
Mhm.
Got it. But at some point, as you build the thing and you're having success, it's like, don't lose sight of how you want your life to look like. You want to be a top producer. You want to make $1 million. You want to, make $500,000. You want to make $10 million. Cool. Whatever it is, cool. But parallel to the goals of that, right? Parallel to your vision board of you want the Lamborghini and the mansion and the vacations and the whatever the fuck your vision board looks like. Cool. How you go about it matters. Like who you are as a person,
Mhm.
how you go about it, and where you put your time and what your life looks like. For example, super elementary example, so just bear with me. Okay, you did it. You're doing it. You got the mansion, but you're never home. That's what I mean,
Great point.
right? You got the Lambo, but your kid, but you never see your kids because
Yeah.
you never even drive the Lambo because you're always fucking working. But hey, you got the Lambo. It's sitting in the garage,
Yep.
but you never drive it. Or if you're driving it, you're driving it to a business meeting. Let me tell you, I never drove mine. Have I ever showed up with my Lambo to a showing?
No.
Once. Fucking my old neighbor from Castle Rock. He wanted to see it.
Oh, yeah.
One time.
Yep.
But it's like, I don't want to drive my Lambo to a fucking showing. Why, Will? Because you don't want your clients to know that you make a little bit of money and they're going to get like mad at you? Or no, because when you think about Lamborghini, I'm cruising, dude.
Totally.
I'm out on the open road, fucking cruising with my Labrador in the passenger seat.
Yep.
And he's all clean. He's not, shedding all over my goddamn car, whatever your dream is, right? Like
Totally.
when you think about yourself driving that Lamborghini, it's not to fucking work.
No, sir.
It's to a ball game with your son.
Yep.
That's what I mean.
Yep.
It's not because my clients don't want to see it. It's not
Yeah.
that at all. It's like, but that's what I mean is like, hey, you got the car, great job. You got the mansion, great job. You got the whatever. Like, everyone has different goals, but it's like, hey, you got this money, so now you can afford the 4 vacations you want. Oh, but you can't take the time off.
Dude, so true.
Because the second you take that time off, your business, you see what I'm saying?
So true.
And we've got some good friends around us that I think do a good job of that.
Yeah.
And it's a great reminder for you and I to like, hey, dude, we're building and we're making it. But like, even if it took us a little bit longer, but we're building it right and we're enjoying our life along the way.
Yep.
Fucking important to both of us.
Mhm.
You and I are both that way, right?
Yeah. Yeah, dude. And especially taking the time into consideration. Like, we're also trying to do this for the next 30 years. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like, this isn't where it's like, hey, we want to get a 6-pack real quick for the beach and then get fat after that, right? Like, that's
No.
not the goal. It's like, hey,
Could be.
we're trying to be in like pretty good shape our
Mhm.
entire life, right? Like,
Yep.
and that's how it is, man. Like, you've got
By
time,
the way,
but
Full disclosure. I'm only doing this for the next 30 years because I got to do it with you, buddy.
100%.
It's
same
like
here,
our
dude.
wives won't let us hang out unless we're
Same
productive.
here.
I know it. There's no way our wives would let us hang out as much as we get to hang out if we weren't building business, making money, providing.
I know.
If you and I were not productive, they'd be like, hey, no, stop hanging out with your friend and get to fucking work, right? But for some reason, what you and I do together works. So it's like, Oh, that's my fucking
Like,
that's
all
my
right,
fucking
this
key to
is
the
it.
city.
Yeah.
As long as he and I are productive, I get to see him as much as I want. Done.
Yep.
So now it's like, yeah, I'll do this shit I'll do it for fucking 80 years.
And we'd
bro.
be doing it anyway. Even if we were just buddies first, we'd still
100%.
find some shit to build.
You were my boss first. You were my daddy.
right.
I need a
right,
shirt that
right.
says Eli's my daddy.
I know. I used to make.
You were, dude. I asked to be on your team. You were my fucking team lead. You were my
We'll
boss.
be sitting in his office like all hot and stuff, and I'd go in there like a creepy boss and like sit on his desk like a little too close to him, you know.
Remember Talladega Nights where like the wife flashes her tits at Ricky Bobby and she just like knew, I'm a snag going. Me like joining your team was like, I'm gonna make myself right at home on this fucking team. This will be mine in no time.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And then before you know it, you're like, yeah, you could have a fucking team. Who the
man.
fuck wants a team, right? Like, yeah, here you go. Like, no disrespect to fucking real estate teams, but there's a bigger, better way.
There is.
Dude, there's a better way to do it.
Yeah.
There's a bigger way to do it. You know, well, that's for another day. It's not that I don't appreciate agents working hard or anything like that. There's just, I'd rather empower agents
Yeah.
in a different way that creates significantly more independence for them, independence for us. And it's way more scalable. We'll get to that in another episode. But the bottom line is, you know, just understand that whole lead, don't chase concept. Try things, enjoy things, cool, but like lead your life. If it's not for you and it's not don't keep fucking doing it. Well, but we'll like the fucking girls for the 5 a.m. club and we do our little booty thing in yoga. If it's not productive, see your friends at a different time.
Totally.
Like, don't just do it because it's cool. Don't just do it because the other girls or the other guys are doing it. Like, you really got to figure out what works for you. And by the way, since I'm picking on girls a little bit, let's just pick on dudes. Stop golfing. Okay, it doesn't fucking work. You're not fucking networking.
Stop golfing if you're doing it to get business.
Yeah, because you're not. It's not. Some of you, it works. A lot of you, 98% of who I've met, it doesn't fucking work. You guys are out there bullshitting. You're doing your thing. There's no conversion that comes from it.
Unless you want to do your business and then go golf. But don't
but you
golf
won't.
in lieu of doing business, thinking that golf is getting you business.
And you're calling it business. I know there's so many mad motherfuckers right now. Like, they thought I was like part of the guys. Like, I'm a trader right now.
But if that's your thing to unwind, just don't
Call it that.
Yeah, just don't pretend like
But
you're
then
doing
do it
business.
after you get your fucking shit
Because
done.
what happens is people don't do the business.
Correct.
And then they go golf, thinking that, I'm doing business. No, you're not. Just go golf, but do your business.
And you can correlate that to events. Stop going to events.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally.
Hey,
Yeah.
that's not working for you, man.
Yep.
Like, hey, you learned a couple good things at the first event. Why haven't you done that shit?
Go implement
Now
it.
you're going to another event. Like, hey, just fucking.
Yeah.
I have this whole theory on that too, dude. With like weaponry, like you see guys always geeking out on like the new gear, the new fucking, the new aim point, the new holster. It's like, hey, stop buying shit.
Yep.
Hey, man, like, you want to really get tactical? Like, you want to really geek out? Because I'm going to fucking help you. You want to really geek out? Keep the same holster for a decade and get really fucking good at it. Because then if you ever have to draw your gun out of your belt or off the side of your fucking, wherever you put your fucking gun, dude, if you get a good holster and you train and you work with that thing and you just know it like the back of your fucking hand, if you ever have to draw your weapon, buddy, you're going to be so fucking good at it. Same thing with your weapon. Same thing with your optics. Like, dudes are like buying so much shit. Like, holy, it's like, yo, dude, it's not an RC car.
Yeah.
That's my hobby. I'll buy all different tires, $20, cheap. I'll put 8 different tires on this fucking thing. Because it's not. But if you really want to be tactical, bro, like, it's not the gear you keep. It's not. It's like, how well can you operate? And part of your operating skill set needs to be how, like, your relationship with your optics, your relationship with your weapon. It needs to become you.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. Like,
and
this
it won't.
familiarity.
If you keep changing that fucking optic, you'll never, ever.
True.
You just won't.
Yeah, it's true.
So that's the whole point, right? Of like, it just stop adopting new shit, stop going to shit. Like, just identify some things and then work at it and then measure that conversion, right?
I like
100%.
it. I like it. Good topic,
right.
man.
Back
Hopefully
to
this
real
gave some
estate.
people some permission to try some different shit and see what works, right? Instead
Yeah.
of forcing yourself to
Or hey,
or you probably
don't.
know what works. And you might know what works, but you're
Yeah.
going so against it that you think you're supposed to. Hopefully this is the permission you guys may have needed.
Or it's not, and you won't, and you don't. And like, hey, man, fuck me, fuck you, all good, dude. Keep doing your fucking thing. Either way,
That's right.
we're heading back to real estate. We got some work shit to do. You guys
That's
enjoy
right.
the rest of your week.
Redefine.
We're out of here.
I'ma sip it on down and turn it up. Southbound and we trailblazing, yeah, bud. And the posse dirty, filthy like a stick cup. Dropping bombs out the gate, bringing big guns. Raw records, we the stake, we the A1. Speak up and we know where we came from. Welcome to the posse, let me hear you yell long cut. A little whiskey on the tongue and some rum cut. I'ma sip it on down and turn it up.